This is the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack. It's a compilation album by Queen from the recently released movie biopic. This is the standard CD version. So got the 4 original members here, and a nice disc, nice artwork. This is only released last week to coincide with the movie release. Yeah, it's a nice package. So what do you get here? The first track is quite amusing. It's the 20th Century Fox fanfare with Brian May overdubbing his overdubbed guitar orchestrated sound. It's quite novel, all 27 seconds of it. Then Somebody to Love, which is the original master. Doing Alright Revisited, that's one of the early Smile tracks. Keep Yourself Alive, Live at the Rainbow, Killer Queen, that's studio. Fat Bottom Girls, Live in Paris, I presume that's from the Live Killers tour. 78, 79. Bohemian Rhapsody, that's the original master. Now I'm Here, Live at the Hammersmith Odeon, that's from the early 70s. Crazy Little Thing Called Love, that's the studio master. Love of My Life is from Live in Rio, and that was January 1985. We Will Rock You is a movie mix. It's just the original We Will Rock You, and there's a live edit stuck in there. Another one, Bites the Dust, I Want to Break Free, Under Pressure, Who Wants to Live Forever. Again, all studio masters. Then Bohemian Rhapsody, that's from Live Aid. Radio Gaga is from Live Aid. Ayo, that's from Live Aid. Hammer to Fall and We Are the Champions. Crazy Little Thing Called Love and We Will Rock You are omitted, so you do not get the complete Live Aid set on this disc, so you better get that straight if you want that. Don't Stop Me Now Revisited, I think it's slightly different with different guitar solo, and the movie credits turn to The Show Must Go On, which is from 1991 album Innuendo. That was the last Queen album with Mercury alive. So the booklet, got some nice photographs, mainly of the movie cast. The movie itself, I did go to see it. I will admit, a few days before I kind of got caught up in the hype. I'm thinking, oh, it's great, they're making a movie about Queen. I knew about this for a long time. It had a troubled birth. There's a few things in it which kind of annoyed me, with their complete lack of regard for chronology, and things like Queen's first tour of America, I think was 74, and they used Fat Bottom Girls live through this period. That song, as everybody knows, or you may not know, is from 1978, and it was on an album called Jazz. Queen did play it live, but to show it in 74 to me is just out. It makes no sense. They should have used Seven Seas of Rye or Now I'm Here. Would have been an obvious choice in that situation. There's other parts when Brian May is going through the work in progress for We Will Rock You. Mercury standing there with short hair, sporting a mustache, and this is supposed to be mid 1977, and obviously Mercury didn't have a mustache until 1980. Things like that are just annoying. The Live Aid scenes are stunning. Again, I felt the stage looked a little bit too small, and I'm sure that there was 2 white clocks either side of the stage in Live Aid. These seem to be missing. They were obviously to let the artists know their time slot. Things like that. There's other, misdemeanors and stuff. I don't think John Reid was fired by the band. He was just too busy with Elton John. Remember, Elton John was a massive star concurrently with all this happening. Little things like that. Just niggly little things, I suppose, as a fan most of my life. And I actually did see Queen live in 1986 in Slane Castle on the Magic Tour, thank God, which that was their last tour. Yeah, when the curtains open for Live Aid, that is a stunning view, because some of the Live Aid camera angles are superimposed, or they didn't exist at the time, plus the quality. Malik does a good job. The attention to detail in certain scenes is outstanding, but overall I don't get a sense of the movie connecting. It's kind of like there's certain parts in it that are kind of, he's pondering a lot, thinking a lot. It could have been done a little differently. Is it a movie about Queen, or is it a movie about Freddie Mercury? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I just think it's a bit baffling in certain areas. But one good thing about it, and this is the positive, it would bring Queen's music to a new generation. And if teenagers out there, or people in their early 20s, start buying Queen's music and listen to Queen, it's great, because a lot of people these days are listening to bullshit, and that's all that R&B and hip-hop stuff and all that auto-tune stuff. People are going to see and hear real talent and real music, and I'm not saying that from a middle-aged perspective. It's just that the bullshit culture is burning itself up, and every song in the charts these days is absolute rubbish. And it's good to show kids that this is how it's done. These guys can actually play, these guys can sing, and that goes for everything across the board. There's a lot of artists out there that are worth discovering. Bowie, The Doors, The Beatles, Zeppelin. There's just millions of good records to listen to, and I think it's good, to show a new generation that this is what you're missing. This is what's out there. There's some, even a bad Queen album is still better than most of the stuff today. And what passes for great music today is really just mediocre. People say, "Oh, Coldplay this and Coldplay that," and it's just not the same. They're not great. They're just treading water and stuff. Whereas bands in the 70s did have to work, and bands that are all gone now, Bowie, they kept reinventing themselves. So yeah, it's good in that way. So hopefully it will show the younger generation just how amazing Queen were, and other bands that were just as good as Queen, which in my mind very few come near, but each themselves. So yeah, the soundtrack, like I said, it's entertaining, a little hodgepodge, but it does go through some of the good Queen material and shows you how great they were. So that's it. Enough said about this. It's out now, and hopefully it'll cast its magic on new ears and give people a taste of real music. And that's all I have to say about this. So comment, slay me, attack me, agree or disagree. That's just my thoughts. It's only my opinion.